Hello and welcome to BJA Ceramics. And I just want to thank you for joining me as I film this video. And also I want to thank those of you who saw this short and gave me a like for this short. And I just thank everybody for their support. So I'm filming this video because I was told, hey, why don't you show us the results of your work and talk about your process. So in this video, I am going to do just that. So I am here to talk about what I am doing. So right here, you have a mug. Of course, you can see that. And this mug is made, I believe the clay was a standard 66 clay. This is one of my favorite clays. I have used so many different types of clays from different companies, and this has to be my favorite of all. The color is so rich, it's easy to throw, it's easy to trim, it's just a magnificent clay. So what you see here, I designed, put some little designs there, some random designs. This was something spontaneous. I just wanted to just put a design on there. So I have a love for flowers and I'm always putting flowers on things. So I decided to just put leaves on it just to do something different. And what I used to paint those the leaves, I believe it was penguin underglaze, white to do that. And that was just one coat. I didn't go over it. I just use one coat on that. And as you can see, it came through pretty well. It's very white there. Now, the clay that I use for this cup is not as vibrant right now because this is bisqueware, meaning that it was only fired once. So once you fire it the first time, it gets hard. It turns into glass and you're able to glaze it, but it's not ready to, it's not ready for use yet because you have not put the glaze on it. So right now I am using, I think you saw the picture, I'm using a Albany glaze called Albany Slip. It's a beautiful brown clay. And I know you're thinking, why are you putting brown on top of brown? Albany Slip has a beautiful hues of different browns. And then sometimes you have these little white colors that comes out of it. So it's a very beautiful, interesting glaze. And sometimes the glaze come out different depending on what kind of clay you use. So if you don't know anything about ceramics, when you are glazing something, you think you're going to get one color and you get something else. So it's always a surprise when you open up the kiln and you look at what you have. Sometimes it's a good thing and sometimes it's not such a good thing. But I have used this glaze so often that it always comes out beautiful each time I use it. So when we glaze, it's important to read the recommendations on the container. And most of the time it says that you can apply 2 to 3 coats. So since this is a dark clay and the glaze is brown, I went ahead and just applied 3 coats because I wanted to make sure that there was a contrast between the glaze and the clay. So I just went ahead and put 3 coats on this. And right there I am adding a coat or a layer to the rim because you want to make sure your rims are nice and smooth. So when someone drinks out of it, you don't feel that roughness or, some type of a texture. You want it to be smooth and, you want to make it nice for the person who's going to use it. Now, the benefits of following the recommendations on the containers is so that you won't get like something that's called crazing or crawling on your mugs. Because sometimes if it's not applied, if your glaze is not applied well, you can get something called crazing. And crazing is it's an effect that happens on the glaze where it just cracks just like glass. And sometimes you'll hear it when you take your mugs out of the kiln, and you'll hear a little ding, ping, ping sound when you take it out of the kiln. And sometimes it's not a good sign. And sometimes that happens to me and my mugs are not crazy. Sometimes it just likes to, I say the mugs are singing. So, but you do want to follow the recommendations and, to make sure your mugs come out perfect, because we spend so much time making a mug, it's ridiculous. And you want your stuff to come out perfect, as perfect as it could possibly be. So right here I am adding, what was that? Storm to the inside of the cup. Now I have, for most of the cups that I make, I have three go-to glazes that I use for the inside, and that's Storm, Indigo Float, and Blue Rutile. Hopefully I pronounced that correctly. Because for some reason, my mugs love to craze. I get those little lines in there. So I know by using those three glazes, I'm not going to have any crazing. So, and then I get beautiful results. And then I love contrast. I love contrast in my in the work that I do. And I just think it just brings out the beauty of the mug. And so when you're applying your glaze, it's very important to wait until your glaze is 100% dry. So if you're going to put 3 layers on, that first layer should be dry before you put the second layer on. And that can also prevent crazing and crawling. Crawling is when your clay just completely separates itself. And that is, I just had that happen to me the other day. And I couldn't understand it because I made sure that I applied it very thin and, I don't know. I don't know what happened, but when I opened my kiln, I saw crawling inside of my cup. It was a new glaze. It wasn't one of the glazes that I just mentioned. So I tried to use something different, and I got the results that I knew I would get. But, sometimes you have to take chances, but next time I know better. So this one is my third layer. And there's something, look like I have some underglaze on my handle, so I'm wiping that off a little bit, because if you don't do that, guess what? That glaze is going to show up on your handle and it's not going to match the glaze that you want. So if you see anything like that on your pieces, make sure you get that off nice and carefully. So I am spinning this around on my banding wheel, making sure that I apply my glaze as evenly as possible. Going slow now so that I won't get any of the glaze on top of that rim, because I did put my Albany slip on top of the rim. All right. And a banding wheel is very important too. You need one of those. It makes glazing much easier. So I think this was my third coat. So coming up is the result of all of this work that I've done. And there you go. See the contrast between the glaze and the clay? There you go. Thank you all for watching. I hope you liked the video.